Welcome to Torah Truth for Us with Linda.
The steadfast love of Yehovah never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning, new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Yah. Great is thy faithfulness. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. They are new every morning, new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Yah. Great is thy faithfulness. Yehovah is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I have hope in him. Yehovah is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him. Great is thy faithfulness.
Exodus, Shemot, chapters 35, verse 1 through chapter 38, verse 20, Vayak'hel, and chapter 38, verse 21, through the end of the book, chapter 40, Fechudei, Vayak'hel. And Moses gathered together all the congregation of the sons of Israel and said to them, These are the words which Jehovah has commanded to do. Work shall be done for 6 days, but the seventh day shall be a holy day for you, a Sabbath of rest to Jehovah. Whoever does any work on it shall be put to death. You shall not kindle fire throughout your dwellings on the Sabbath day. And Moses said to all the congregation of the sons of Israel, saying, This is the thing which Jehovah commanded, saying, Take from among you an offering to Jehovah. Whoever is of willing heart, let him bring it, an offering to Jehovah. Gold and silver and bronze and blue and purple and scarlet thread and fine linen and goat's hair and ram skins dyed red and badger skins and acacia wood and oil for the light and spices for the anointing oil and for the sweet incense and onyx stones and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And all wise-hearted among you shall come and make all that Jehovah has commanded: the tabernacle, its tent and its covering, its clasps and its boards, its bars, its pillars and its sockets, the ark and its poles with the mercy seat and the veil of the covering, the table and its poles, and all its utensils, and the bread of the presence, and also the menorah for the light, and its utensils, and its lamps, and the oil for the light, and the altar of the incense, and its poles, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the screen for the entrance at the door of the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offering, and its bronze grating, and the poles to it, and all its utensils, and the laver and its base, the hangings of the court, its pillars, and their sockets, and the screen for the gate of the court, the pegs of the tabernacle, and the pegs of the court, and their cords, the garments of ministry for ministering in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron, the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister as priests. And all the congregation of the sons of Israel departed from the presence of Moses, and everyone whose heart was stirred came, and all whose spirit was willing. They brought offering of YHWH for the work of the tabernacle of the meeting, for all its service, and for the holy garments. And they came along with the men, women, as many as had a willing heart. And they brought earrings, and nose rings, and rings, and necklaces, all gold jewelry, and every man who made an offering of gold to YHWH. And every man who was found with blue, and purple, and scarlet yarns, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and red skins of rams, and badger skins brought them. All who offered an offering of silver or bronze brought the offering of YHWH, and all who was found with acacia wood for any work of the service brought it. And all the women who were wise-hearted spun yarn with their hands, and brought what they had spun of blue, and purple, and scarlet yarns, and fine linen. And all the women whose hearts stirred with wisdom spun yarns of goat's hair. And the rulers brought onyx stones, and the stones to be set in the ephod, and in the breastplate, and spices, and oil for the light, for the anointing oil, and the sweet spices for incense. All the men and women whose hearts were willing to bring material for all kinds of work, which YHWH had commanded to be done by the hands of Moses, the sons of Israel brought a free will offering to YHWH. And Moses said to the sons of Israel, See, YHWH called by name Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehudah. And he has filled them with the spirit of Elohim, in wisdom, and understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, and to design artistic works, to work in gold, and silver, and bronze, and in cutting jewels for setting, and in carving wood, and to work in all manner of artistic workmanship. And he has put the ability to teach in his heart, him and Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. He has filled them with the wisdom of heart to do all manner of work of the engraver and the designer, and the tapestry maker, in blue and purple and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, and of the weaver, those who do every work, and those who design artistic works. And Bezalel and Aholiab shall do, and every artisan wise-hearted in whom YHWH has put wisdom and understanding in them, to know how to do all the manner of work for the service of the sanctuary, according to all that YHWH has commanded. And Moses called Bezalel and Aholiab, and every gifted artisan in whose heart YHWH had put wisdom of heart, all whose heart was stirred to come unto the work. And it was so. And they received from Moses all the offering which the sons of Israel had brought to make the work of the service of the sanctuary. And they continued bringing to him freewill offerings morning after morning. And all the craftsmen who were doing all the work of the sanctuary came, each man from the work that they were doing, and spoke to Moses, saying, The people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which YHWH commanded to do. And Moses gave a commandment, and caused it to be proclaimed throughout the camp, saying, Let neither man nor woman do any more work for the offering of the sanctuary. And the people were restrained from bringing, for they had sufficient material for all the work to be done. Indeed, too much. And all wise-hearted, who worked the work of the tabernacle, made 10 curtains of fine woven linen, and of blue, and purple, and scarlet thread. And they made them with cherubim of artistic designs on them. The length of the one curtain was 28 cubits, and the width of 4 cubits. The size of one curtain was the size for all. And he coupled 5 curtains one to one. 5 other curtains he coupled one to one. And he made loops of blue yarn on the outermost curtain in the first set. He did likewise on the edge of the curtain that was the outermost in the second set. He made 50 loops in the one curtain, and he made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that was on the second set. The loops were opposite, one to one. And he also made 50 clasps of gold, and joined the curtains one to another with the clasps, so that the tabernacle was one. And he made curtains of goat's hair for the tent over the tabernacle. He made 11 curtains. The length of one curtain was 30 cubits, and the width was 4 cubits. Each curtain was of one size, and there were 11 curtains. He joined 5 curtains by themselves, and the 6 curtains by themselves, and he made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that was outermost in the first set, and he made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain in the second set. He also made 50 clasps of bronze to join the tent together, so that it is one. And he made a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and a covering of badger skins above. And he made boards of acacia wood for the tabernacle standing upright, the length of each board 10 cubits, and 1.5 cubits the width of each board. There were 2 tenons for each board, fitted to one another. He did this to all the boards of the tabernacle. And he made the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards for the south side, and he made 40 bases of silver under the 20 boards, 2 bases under one board for the 2 tenons, and 2 bases under another board for its 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, on the north side, he made 20 boards, and their 40 bases of silver, 2 bases under one board, and 2 bases under another board. And for the back of the tabernacle, to the west, he made 6 boards. He made 2 boards for the corners of the tabernacle at the back. They were double beneath, and together they were complete to its top, to the first ring. He did this with both of them for the 2 corners. There were 8 boards with their bases of silver, 16 bases, 2 bases under every board. And he made bars of acacia wood, 5 for the boards of one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the second side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the tabernacle for the back, to the west. And he made the middle bar to pass through in the center of the boards from end to end. And he overlaid the boards with gold, and made their rings of gold, holders for the bars, and overlaid the bars with gold. And he made a veil of blue and purple and scarlet thread and fine woven linen. It is an artistic design of cherubim. And he made for it 4 pillars of acacia, and overlaid them with gold, with their hooks of gold. And he cast for them 4 sockets of silver. And he made a screen for the door of the tabernacle, blue and purple and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen, the work of a weaver, and its 5 pillars with their hooks. And he overlaid their capitals with gold rings, but their 5 sockets were bronze. And Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood. 2 cubits and a half was its length, and a cubit and a half its width, and a cubit and a half its height. And he overlaid it with pure gold inside and outside, and made a gold molding all around it. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold in its 4 corners, 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the second side of it. And he made poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. And he put the poles into the rings at the sides of the ark to bear the ark. And he made the mercy seat of pure gold. 2.5 cubits was its length, and a cubit and a half its width. And he made 2 gold cherubim beaten of one piece. He made them at the 2 ends of the mercy seat, 1 cherub at one end on this side, and 1 cherub at the other end, the other side. He made the mercy seat with the 2 cherubim, its ends, of one piece. And the cherubim spread out their wings above, and covered with their wings over the mercy seat, and they faced one unto another toward the mercy seat were the faces of the cherubim. And he made the table of acacia wood, 2 cubits its length, and a cubit its width, and a cubit and a half its height. And he overlaid it with pure gold, and made a molding of gold all around it. And he made a frame of a handbreadth all around it, and made a gold molding for the frame all around it. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold, and put the 4 rings on the corners that were at its 4 legs. The rings were close to the frame, as holders for the poles to bear the table. And he put the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold to bear the table. And he made the utensils which were on the table, and its dishes, and its cups, and its bowls, and its pitchers which were to pour out, with pure gold. And he made the menorah of pure gold. He made the menorah of hammered work. Its shaft, and its branches, its bowls, its knobs, and its flowers were of one piece. And 6 branches came out of its side, 3 branches of the menorah out of one side, and 3 branches of the menorah out of the second side. 3 bowls made like almond blossoms on one branch with an ornamental knob and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almond blossoms on the one branch with an ornamental knob and a flower, just so, for 6 of the branches coming out of the menorah. And on the menorah itself 4 bowls made like almond blossoms, each with its ornamental knob and flower, and a knob under the first 2 of the same branches, and a knob under the second 2 of the same branches, and a knob under the third 2 of the same branches, according to the 6 branches extending from it. Their knobs and their branches were of one piece, all of it was one hammered piece of pure gold. And he made its 7 lamps, and its wick trimmers, and its trays of pure gold. He made it with a talent of pure gold for all of its utensils. And he made the altar of the incense of acacia wood, its length a cubit, and its width a cubit, square, and 2 cubits its height. Of one piece with it were its horns, and he overlaid it with pure gold, the top of it and its sides, all around, and its horns. And he made a molding of gold for it all around. And he made 2 gold rings for it under the molding, 2 by its corners, and 2 on their sides as holders for the poles to bear it. And he made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. And he made the holy anointing oil and the pure sweet incense of spices according to the work of the perfumer. And he made the altar of the burnt offering of acacia wood, 5 cubits its length, and 5 cubits its width, square, and 3 cubits its height. And he made its horn on its 4 corners. The horns were of one piece with it. And he overlaid it with bronze. And he made all the utensils for the altar, the pans, and the shovels, and the basins, and the forks, and the fire pans. All its utensils he made of bronze. And he made for the altar a grate, a work of bronze netting, beneath under its ledge, reaching halfway up. He cast 4 rings on the 4 ends of the bronze grating, holders for the poles. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. And he inserted the poles into the rings on the sides of the altar with which to carry it. He made it hollow with planks. And he made the laver of bronze and its base of bronze from the mirrors of the serving women who served at the doorway of the tent of meeting. And he made the courtyard. For the south side, the hangings of the courtyard were of fine twisted linen, 100 cubits. Their 20 pillars and their 20 bases were made of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands, silver. And for the north side, 100 cubits. Their 20 pillars and their 20 bases were of bronze, and the hooks of the pillars and their bands, silver. For the west side, there were hangings of 50 cubits, with their 10 pillars and their 10 bases. The hooks of the pillars and their bands, silver. For the east, toward the sunrise, 50 cubits. The hangings, 15 cubits long on one side with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. And the same for the second side, and of the gate, the court's hangings of 15 cubits with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. And the hanging of the court all around were of fine woven linen. And the sockets for the pillars, bronze. And the hooks of the pillars and their bands, silver. And all the pillars of the court had bands of silver. And the screen for the gate of the court was the work of woven blue and purple and scarlet thread, and of fine woven linen, 20 cubits the length and 5 along its width, 5 cubits, corresponding to the hangings of the court. And there were 4 pillars with their 4 sockets of bronze, their hooks, silver. And the overlay of their capitals and their bands, silver. And all the pegs of the tabernacle and of the court all around, bronze.
The steadfast love of Jehovah never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning, new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Yah. Great is thy faithfulness. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. They are new every morning, new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Yah. Great is thy faithfulness. Yehovah is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I have hope in him. Yehovah is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him. Great is thy faithfulness.
Vayak'hel. These are the inventory items of the tabernacle. The testimony of the tabernacle, which counted according to the commandment of Moses for the service of the Levites by the hand of Ithamar, son of Aaron, the priest. And Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehudah, made all that Jehovah had commanded Moses, and with him Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and designer, and a weaver of blue and purple and scarlet thread and of fine linen. All the gold that was used in all the work of the holy place, it was the gold of the offering, 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver from those who were numbered from the congregation, 100 talents and 1,775 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. For each man a bekah, half a shekel, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, for everyone who had crossed over to be numbered, 20 years old and above, 603,550 men. The 100 talents of silver were for casting the bases of the sanctuary and the bases of the veil. 100 bases for the 100 talents, a talent for a base. And of the 1,775 shekels, he made hooks for the pillars, and overlaid their tops, and made bands for them. And the bronze of the freewill offering was 70 talents, and 2,400 shekels. With it he made the bases to the doorway of the tent of meeting, and the bronze altar, and its bronze grating, and all the utensils of the altar, and the bases of the courtyard all around, and the bases of the gate of the courtyard, and all the pegs of the tabernacle, and all the pegs of the courtyard all around. And of the blue and purple and scarlet thread they made garments of ministry for ministering in the holy place, and made the holy garments which were for Aaron, as Jehovah had commanded Moshe. And he made the ephod of gold, blue, and purple and scarlet thread, and of fine woven linen. And they beat the gold into thin sheets, and cut threads into it to work in with the blue and the purple and the scarlet yarn and fine linen into artistic designs. They made shoulder straps to couple it together. At its two edges it was coupled together. And the intricately woven band of his ephod, that was on the same workmanship, gold, blue, and purple and scarlet thread, and fine woven linen, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And they set onyx stones in enclosed settings of gold. They were engraved as signets are engraved with the names of the sons of Israel. And he put them on the shoulders of the ephod, memorial stones for the sons of Israel, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And he made the artistically woven breastplate like the workmanship of the ephod, of gold and blue and purple and scarlet thread, and of fine woven linen. By doubling the breastplate, they made it square. Its length span was its width span when doubled. And they set 4 rows of stone in it, a row with a sardius, a topaz, and an emerald was the first row. And the second row, a turquoise, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in settings of gold in their mountings. And the names of the sons of Israel according to the stones were 12, according to their names engraved like a signet, each one with its own name, according to the 12 tribes. And they made chains at the ends of the breastplate like cords of pure braided gold. And they made 2 gold settings and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they made the 2 braided chains of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate. And they fastened the 2 braided chains of the 2 ends in the 2 settings, and put them on the shoulder straps of the ephod before the front of its face. And they made 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, on the edge of it that was on the inward side of the ephod. And they made 2 other rings, and put them on the 2 shoulder straps of underneath the ephod, toward its front end at the seam, above the intricately woven band of the ephod. And they bound the breastplate by means of its rings to the rings of the ephod with a blue cord, so that it would be above the intricately woven band of the ephod, that the breastplate would not come loose from the ephod as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all of blue, and there was an opening in the middle of the robe like the opening in a coat of mail, with a woven binding all around the opening so that it would not tear. And they made the hem on the robe of pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet and of fine woven linen. And they made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates on the hem of the robes to minister in all around between the pomegranates, a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate on the hem of the robe all around, as YHWH had commanded Moses. And they made tunics of fine linen, artistically woven, for Aaron and his sons, and a turban of fine linen, and exquisite hats of fine linen, and short trousers of fine woven linen, and a fine woven linen sash, with blue and purple and scarlet, the work of the weaver as YHWH had commanded Moses. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote on it an inscription like the engraving of a signet, Chodesh LaYehova, holy to YHWH. And they tied a blue cord to it to fasten it above on the turban as YHWH had commanded Moses. Thus, all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting was finished. And the sons of Israel did all according to that YHWH commanded Moses, so they did. And they brought to Moses the tent of the tabernacle, and all its furnishings, its clasps, its boards, its bars, and its pillars, and its sockets, and the covering of the dyed red ram skins, and the covering of the badger skins, and the veil of the covering, and the ark of the testimony with its poles and the mercy seat, the table and all its utensils, the bread of the presence, the pure gold menorah with its lamps, the lamps set in order, and all its utensils, and all the oil for the light, and the gold altar, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the screen door for the tabernacle, the bronze altar, the bronze grate, its poles, and all its utensils, and the laver with its base, the court hangings, its pillars, and its sockets, and the screen gate for the court, its cords, and its pegs, and all the utensils for the service of the tabernacle for the tent of meeting, and the garments of ministry to minister in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron, the priest, and the garments for his sons to minister as priests, according to all that YHWH had commanded Moses. So the sons of Israel did all the work. And Moses looked over all the work, and indeed they had done it as YHWH had commanded. Just so they had done it. And Moses blessed them. And YHWH spoke to Moses, saying, On the first day of the first month you shall set up the tabernacle, the tent of the meeting. And you shall put in it the ark of the testimony, and partition off the ark with the veil. And you shall bring in the table, and arrange the things that are to be set in order on it. And you shall bring in the menorah, and light its lamps. And you shall set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put up the screen door of the tabernacle. And you shall set the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting. And you shall set the laver between the tabernacle of meeting and the altar, and put water in it. And you shall set up the court all around, and hang up the screen at the court gate. And you shall take the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle and all that is in it, and you shall consecrate it and all its utensils, and it shall be holy. And you shall anoint the altar of the burnt offering and all its utensils, and consecrate the altar, and the altar shall be most holy. And you shall anoint the laver and its base, and consecrate it. And you shall bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tabernacle of the meeting, and wash them with water. And you shall put the holy garments on Aaron, and anoint him, and consecrate him, that he may minister as priest to me. And you shall bring his sons, and clothe them with tunics, and you shall anoint them, as you anointed their father, that they may minister as priests to me, and their anointing will be for them an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Thus Moses did according to all that YHWH had commanded him, so he did. And it came to pass in the first month of the second year, on the first day of the month, that the tabernacle was raised up. And Moses raised up the tabernacle, and fastened its sockets, and set up its boards, and put in it its bars, and raised up its pillars. And he spread out the tent over the tabernacle, and put the covering of the tent on top as YHWH commanded Moses. And he took and put the ark of the testimony, and inserted the poles through the rings of the ark, and put the mercy seat on the top of the ark. And he brought the ark into the tabernacle, and hung up the veil of the covering, and partitioned off the ark of the testimony, as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he put the table in the tabernacle of meeting on the north side of the tabernacle, outside the veil. And he set upon it the bread in order before YHWH, as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he put the menorah in the tabernacle of meeting across from the table on the south side of the tabernacle. And he lit the lamps before YHWH, as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he put the gold altar in the tabernacle of meeting in front of the veil. And he burned sweet incense on it, as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he hung up the screen at the door of the tabernacle. And he put the altar of burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and offered upon it the burnt offering and the grain offering, as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he set the laver between the tabernacle of meeting and the altar, and put there the water for washing. And Moses and Aaron and his sons would wash their hands and their feet whenever they went into the tabernacle of meeting, and when they came near the altar, they washed as YHWH had commanded Moses. And he raised up the court all around the tabernacle and the altar, and hung up the screen of the court gate. And Moses finished the work. And the cloud covered the tabernacle of meeting, and the glory of YHWH filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter the tabernacle of meeting, because the cloud rested above it, and the glory of YHWH filled the tabernacle. And whenever the cloud was taken up from above the tabernacle, the sons of Israel would go onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they did not journey till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of YHWH was above the tabernacle by day, and fire was over it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys. May Jehovah bless you and keep you. May Jehovah cause his face to shine on you and be gracious to you. May Jehovah bless you and keep you. May Jehovah lift up his countenance on you and give you peace. Yivarechecha Yehovah v'yishmerecha. Yair Yehovah panav elecha v'yonecha. Yisa Yehovah panav elecha v'yasem lecha. Shalom.